Right, I think we are live. Welcome along. Just give me 1 second, guys. I need to post the stream link into Patreon. Welcome, and the subs are out, and this is Kevin's first time out onto the pitch of Craven Cottage. And sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, welcome along to the stream. Welcome along to a quick chat before the game between Fulham and Leeds United. As I said, Kevin comes out onto the Craven Cottage turf for the first time in a Fulham shirt. It's a great moment for him, and it's a great moment for the club. Let's talk about the two lineups today. We'll start with the visitors, because I think there is a lot to talk about with the visitors and their starting 11. If someone had asked me 2 days ago, how do you expect Leeds to line up? It'd be very similar to what they have, their starting 11 right now. But I wouldn't expect Brendan Aronson to start and Noah Okafor to start as well. So, Willie Gnonto and Dan James, of course, we know all about Dan James, on the bench is a surprise. And I thought their game plan, which I still think is going to be their game plan, is going to sit deep and try and hit us in the break. And I think that's what they're going to do. But I would have thought, with the pace of both Dan James and Gnonto, who of course can make an impact when they come off the bench, I would have thought it would have been better for Leeds to start with them. But hey, I don't really know Daniel Farke and his tactics, and I think that suits Fulham. Obviously, they can come off the bench and be very, very scary, and I think they are scary players to come off the bench with the amount of speed that they've got. Ampadu in midfield alongside Longstaff and Statch are like a very decent midfield three, with the options on the bench of Tanaka, who's fantastic, Gruev as well. And yeah, Goodmanson's obviously been very impressive at left back so far this season. Bogle at right back, who's like to go forward. Strauch and Rodon, fairly decent centre backs, at least for Championship level. Premier League level, we're still trying to find out. When they last came to London, and their record in London is pretty poor, I'll touch wood. They lost by 5-0 to Arsenal. Drew goalless against Newcastle last time out, and obviously on the opening day they beat Everton by 1-0. As for Fulham, one change to the side, but a change of system. I think we went from a 5 or a 3 to a 4, which means that Timothy Castagna comes out, Tete pushes to right back, and Harry Wilson starts on the right-hand side with Iwobi on the left, Josh King just behind the striker, which is Rodrigo Muniz, a player who was heavily linked to Leeds over the summer. They wanted him, and Fulham were like, no. Atlanta wanted him, and Fulham were like, no, that's not happening. So I'm glad that Muniz is starting. Ryan Sessegnon is in at left back. Robinson not quite ready. I believe it was implied by Marco Silva that he was going to take part in the behind closed doors friendly over the international break. I'm guessing that was the case. I could definitely ask him in the coming weeks, but it seems like old news now. But Robinson is on the bench, as is Lecomte, Raul Jimenez, Tom Kearney, Adama Traore, Castagna, as we said, Kevin, Diop, no Cuenca, Smith Rowe and Robinson. So what does it mean? It means that 4 first-team players have missed out for Fulham today. Cuenca, Reed, Chukwueze and Yona Kusi Asari. So 2 of the new signings are not part of the matchday squad today. I think that's fairly well reflected in what Marco Silva said yesterday in his pre-match press conference about Chukwueze only just coming through the door today in terms of coming back from international duty with Nigeria. Obviously, this is the same with Bassi and Iwobi, because they're so well integrated into the team already. It doesn't seem like a big risk to put them in at this stage. And Yona Kusi Asari is a really, really interesting one. I would like to, and I think that's going to be a major talking point tomorrow in our live stream tomorrow from 10:30 till 12, where we're going to do 90 minutes on the 90 minutes. I think that's going to be the name of the live stream, whatever it's going to be, 90 on 90. I don't know. We'll work it out. But Yona Kusi Asari seems like a player who was signed, and I'm not going to say against Marco Silva's wishes, because that's not true, but signed because we needed a striker. Wasn't the striker that Marco Silva wanted. I basically asked him about it, and he was asked about it in the broadcast, and he just came out and said he's not the type of striker we were looking for. And I was like, oh. And he's 18 years old. He's on loan from Bayern Munich, who will expect for him to play minutes. We've got a buy option on Yona Kusi Asari, and Marco Silva gave the impression that he's like, one, not ready to play Premier League football, and 2, just not the style of striker he was looking for as a third striker. It's an interesting one. It really is. Harrison Reed misses out as well. Jorge Cuenca, I wonder, because Cuenca's been a mainstay on the bench all season so far, on the back end of last season. But Issa Diop's in now. Maybe it's an injury. I guess we'll find out post-match if a question comes up about that. And then, of course, Chukwueze. So there's going to be, barring any injuries, which at the moment Fulham don't really have any injuries, again, touch wood, but there's going to be 4 players that are going to miss out, 4 first-team players that are going to miss out every single week because of the size of the squad. It's obviously a good thing. I remember Josh King made the bench against Burnley a couple of years ago because there were quite a few injuries. There were like 3 injuries in the squad. And yeah, now, you fast forward 2 years, Josh King has now starting in all 4 opening Premier League games, all 4 opening 4 Premier League games for Fulham, over Emil Smith-Rowe, who was signed from Arsenal as the record transfer deal. Quite incredible, 18 years old. And we all saw last time out at Walham Green how good he is. And he obviously scored the goal. It was disallowed in the most horrendous fashion. We have to just get over that and just move on. But it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens this afternoon with Josh King. And I think the more comforting thing about this Fulham team now is that there's more options to bring off the bench. Robinson, who has come off the bench against Manchester United, and Raul Jimenez, who obviously can replace Rodrigo Muniz. TC, who obviously has a grievance with Leeds. We found that out. Well, we've known that all his career, but especially through that documentary. Adama Traore, who of course, is Adama Traore the reason why Nuno lost his job? And Adama Traore could have been one of the reasons why Marinakis and Nuno Espirito Santo fell out, which is really, really interesting. And then obviously Kevin. We all want to see Kevin. We want to see Kevin at 60 minutes. I want to see him at 45. I want to see a whole half of him. But if it's going well for Fulham, maybe there's no need to bring him on until 65, 70. Hopefully we see him, and hopefully that's due to a positive change, not we're chasing the game. Smith-Rowe, Diop. So yeah, there's some really good options for Fulham to bring off the bench. And then you still have, Chukwueze in there as well as another option, Jonah Kusiasari, who will, I don't know when he's going to start, Jonah Kusiasari. Excuse me. And let's just answer some of these comments. Interesting picture there from Loco. What's your prediction for the game, Jack? Do you think Kevin will, how do you think Kevin will do if he comes on? I think he will be introduced because Marco Silva's talked about the importance of him getting minutes. I think he'll come on with about 25, 30 minutes to go, probably 25 minutes to go. Is the lineup. I think Fulham are going to win this by 2 goals to 1. 2 goals to 1 for Fulham. We're going to go 2 up and they're going to get a 1 goal back. And we're going to see it out. And Kevin's going to come on and do some nice tricks and flicks. Robertson has been really good since coming back off the bench, so he adds so much to his attack just with the extra man. And that's the thing. You can look at someone on the right-hand side like Adama Traore, who can stretch the defence when the game is getting into 70, 75, 80 minutes. And then you look at someone like Anthony Robinson, who obviously can come from a slightly deeper position. Obviously, he's a deeper player at left back, but it makes those overlapping runs, and that's just going to cause more strain on that Leeds defence. So Jayden Bogle is going to be under a lot of pressure today. He's going to be up against Ryan Sessegnon, and then if Robinson comes on, he's going to be stretched to the max. And then of course you consider Harry Wilson as well. Not Harry Wilson. You consider Alex Iwobi, and then Kevin. If Kevin comes on, then it's going to be a torrid time for Bogle. It'd be good to see if Bogle gets a yellow card in the first half. I think that's a very big opportunity for Fulham to really get at them. I'm going to end this here and just get ready for kickoff. Just less than 20 minutes before kickoff. Please remember 31 minutes, the minutes applause. It's very, very important for Biku and his family, who obviously Biku passed away a couple of weeks ago. And it's going to be important to commemorate him. Jedi and Kevin to come on at the same time to add a new dynamic down the left. That would be very exciting. Come on, Fulham. I'm predicting 2-1 wins for Fulham today. Take care. Join me tomorrow from 10:30 live on all platforms to review the game. And hopefully it's 3 points. We need 3 points. Fulham need to win this game really ahead of the West London derby next week. Take care, guys, and come on, Fulham.